Park, and it's a suburb of New York City, and that's where I grew up. So when I was 9 years old, I used to ride my bicycle all around the neighborhood trying to find this school because I wanted to run away. I wanted to find my superpower, something that I was good at, and I want to find my super friends. Because when you're the boy with the broken brain, you don't connect with a lot of people because you don't feel like you have a lot to offer, right? So I used to do that. I'm telling him this story, the chairman, and he's like, Jim, I know you like superheroes. Do you want to go to Comic-Con? Now, how many people are familiar with Comic-Con, right? Tens of thousands of people getting together in San Diego, dressed up like superheroes. I was like, when is it? He's like, today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, notice my mind. I go from a 9-year-old to a 99-year-old. Because I'm like, I'm in LA, how am I gonna get to San Diego on a Friday, right? There's gonna be lines, there'll be traffic, I have nothing to wear, I have all these meetings in LA. And notice like the critic that comes in, right? Because sometimes we have to get out of our own way. And mentally, I just became an old person in my mind. And then I was like, and he's like, Jim, do you wanna go? I'm going tomorrow. And he was like, oh, I was like, oh, you're going tomorrow, I'm gonna go with you. So he picks me up Saturday morning, and instead of driving down there, we get on his plane, and I swear to you, on that plane's the entire cast of X-Men. And they're gonna surprise Comic-Con, right? With their presence for the new movie that's coming out. And I spend the entire, I go on there and I see Wolverine and Patrick's, Professor X. I'm sitting between Jennifer Lawrence and Halle Berry going to Comic-Con, right? And we spend the entire day amazing. We come back, here's the lesson. We come back and Chairman was like, how was it? I was like, the best day ever, thank you so much. He's like, Jim, I have something else for you. I don't want anything else, what can I do for you? He was like, they really loved you. How would you like to go to Montreal? They were filming the last 30 days of the new movie. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've never been on film set. I would love to do that, but what can I do for you? And he says, Jim, just do what you did with us. Just teach them how to speed read scripts, memorize their lines faster, be present and focus on set. And I was like, oh, I could totally do that. Sunday morning, we're on what they call the X-Jet, and we're going to Montreal. And I'm brain training these amazing individuals that inspired me growing up, right? And I got to see, on set, it was actually taking place at the school. And I got to see my real-life heroes come to life in front of me as a 9-year-old boy. Now, when I got home, there was a package waiting for me. I opened up. I don't know if you could put the slide on, please. I opened it up, and there's this photograph on the screen. There's a photograph of me and the entire cast of X-Men. And even better than Halle Berry and Jennifer Lawrence and everything that's on there was the note from the chairman. It said this, Jim, thank you so much for sharing your superpowers with all of us. I know you've been looking for your superhero school since you were a kid. Here's your class photo. The lesson that everyone gets different lessons out of this. For me, is me being in that childhood vulnerable state that allowed something like that to happen. And what I would leave for you is this homework. Is it okay if I give you some homework? This movie was called Days of Future Past. It takes place in the future, and there's Armageddon. I mean, it's the most dreaded future you could ever imagine. And Professor X sends Wolverine, because Wolverine has healing abilities with his mind, sends him back in time as the communicator to talk to his younger self. So Professor X sends Wolverine back in time to talk to the younger version of Professor X to tell him something so that way the future gets changed. Does that make sense? So my question for you is this. If you could go back to that child inside of you, that younger self, and right now tell them something that they need to hear, what would that be? If you could go back and pass on a message to your younger self, what would it be? And if you were to go in the future, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ahead in the future, I believe you have wisdom inside of you. I believe you have greatness inside of you and genius that you're not even tapped in those states. If you were to project 10 years ahead of time and look back on this day right now, what does your current self need to hear from your future self? I have a quote that I get quoted on more than anything else. It talks about an egg and stress. That your egg is like your life. That if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if it's broken by an inside force, life begins. And all great things begin on the inside. Thank you very much.